Okay, so this is the last video in this little trilogy. It's going to be about using completing the square to solve quadratic equations. So looking at this first example, um, well, we already know something's wrong, right? So first off, we have a term. Second off, we are not in standard form, which I strongly advise that you should be. Uh, So let's do both of those things. So let's go ahead and rewrite this into standard form. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're in standard form or not, but I just want us to get used to the habit of always having quadratics in standard form. So we have an a term. If we're going to complete the square, then we need a to be equal to 1. And here we see a is not equal to 1, it's equal to 2. So I'm going to just divide everything by 2, right? So I end up with x squared plus 6x plus 5 over 2 equals 0. Okay, now I can complete the square because a is in fact equal to 1 now. Okay, so now it's just a matter of plugging into, if you recall from the previous part of the video, right? So I'm just going to plug into that part of the formula right there. So this is just going to become x plus 3 all squared minus 9. And then we have the plus 5 over 2 equals 0. Okay, so negative 9 plus 5 over 2. So negative 9 plus 5 over 2. Well, we're dealing with fractions now. So then that just means we need to have a common denominator. So that becomes negative 18 over 2 plus 5 over 2. And that's going to give us now negative 13 over 2. And we just bring down what we haven't used yet. And now we just begin the process of getting x by itself. So I'm just going to add 13 over 2 to both sides. And we already know what to do from here. Just take the square root and subtract 3. So x is going to be equal to negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 13 over the square root of 2. That's an irrational number, which is bad. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 2 top and bottom. And we really have that x1, we'll say, is equal to negative 3 plus the square root of 26 all over 2, or x2 is equal to negative 3 minus the square root of 26, all of that over 2. Okay, so pretty straightforward there. So let me erase, give myself some room, and we'll look at that very next example, number 2 there. And I'm only going to do 3 of these examples just to keep the video short. That way you see more examples of completing the square and also just straight up uh, how to solve these in general, right? So here I can go ahead and tell I'm going to divide everything by 4 because I want a to be equal to 1. We're already in standard form because we're set equal to 0, so we're good. So we have x squared plus 4x minus 5 over 4 equals 0. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite by completing the square. So I'm going to say this becomes x plus 2 all squared minus 4 minus 5 over 4 equals 0. Okay, and negative 4 I can say is negative 16 over 4, so minus 5, so negative 21 over 4. Add 21 over 4 to both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to take the square root and subtract 2 from both sides, so x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 21 over 2. Okay, and I can't simplify that any further. So I can leave it like that, or I can get specific and say, one of the solutions is negative 2 plus square root of 21 over 2. And the other solution is negative 2 minus the square root of 21 all over 2. Okay, either one of those would suffice. Okay, and here we have another one. I think I have room. If not, I can erase. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and not put it in standard form just to show you that it's not too big of a deal. Um, so I'm going to divide everything by 5. So that gives me x squared minus 6x equals 3 over 5. Okay, so I divided everything by 5 so that I could get a here equal to 1. Okay, now I just complete the square, and I have x minus 3 all squared minus 9 equals 3 over 5. Then I'm going to add 9 to both sides, so that would be 45 over 5. So 48 over 5. Okay, then I'm going to take the square root, add 3. X is going to be equal to 3 plus uh, the square root plus or minus, sorry. 3 plus or minus the square root of 48 over 5. And let's review something here. So I've got the square root of 48 over the square root of 5. And I kind of skipped over this uh, in the previous videos because I don't think it really came up. But this square root of 48, we can factor that into square root of 16 times square root of 3, which gives us 4 square root of 3 over the square root of 5. And we don't want an irrational denominator, so that means we're going to have 4 square root of 15 over 5. That we did discuss in a previous video, so I'm not going to bother with that one. So one solution is 3 plus 4 square root of 15 all over 5. The other solution is 3 minus 4 square root of 15, all of that over 5. Okay, so that does it for this video. This stuff seems really complicated and whatnot, but it's just following simple processes and building off of that. Like always, if you need any help, shoot me an email or let me know in class. Goodbye.